So guys, if you're curious where I get my treasures from, this is the place, the Flow Mart. Today we will do some treasure hunting together.
So it is the traditional flea market in Mertert. Mertert is a small village on German-Luxembourgish border on the banks of Moselle River. A beautiful place, by the way. And the market is not huge. Still, you need a couple of hours to walk around and see all the things that they have. There is a German person selling a huge collection of badges, all types, old, not so old, football related, cities and towns and villages, coat of arms, badges, all types of things. There are a few guys selling model cars and old toys. I also met a person who had a few quite interesting militaria items. A large collection of documents, mainly coming from Wehrmacht, something that you normally don't show on YouTube, with all those eagles, and signs that are not quite legal in most of the world today. And he also had some amazing functioning equipment of Wehrmacht telephones, field telephones that were used during World War II for communications between units of Wehrmacht. So as usual for those flea markets, you see a lot of porcelain, a lot of good quality glass. For military medals, just a few dealers, mostly specializing in coins, but also having some military medals. Usual, most common French and German pieces. I was not really interested in buying. I was looking for something special, but didn't find this time. Yeah, there was also a guy selling amazing collection of binoculars, military ones as well, and another person was selling quite good collection of German fire brigade equipment, the helmets and other things. Well, yeah, as usual, plenty of old coins, some good old music on vinyl. The usual flea market stuff. So there was one lady at the market selling portraits and prints. So here we can see the portrait of the Kaiser and the Kaiserin, the Empress, and also this very interesting print when the Kaiser is in the meeting with all of his generals and war leaders, which this meeting actually never happened historically. This one is very interesting as well. It is the print that German soldiers would normally order from a local artist when they retire from the army. You can see there's a picture of the soldier in the middle, there's an emperor riding a horse on the top, and the different scenes of the military service of the soldier. And here is the portrait of the soldier himself. So all of those prints are coming off the walls of the same estate. Really interesting. I have to pause here for a second, just because I want to tell you how much I love making those videos for you. But no channel can survive long without subscribers, so please support me by subscribing to my channel. I walked the rows for quite some time, but for myself I actually found nothing interesting, nothing worth buying. But at some moment I had a very special feeling. You know, when I was a boy of 5 or 6 years old, I used to bring home every living thing I could find. A wounded pigeon, a lost kitten, or a homeless dog. I just thought they felt so lonely out there and they needed a friend, so I would take them home. And I had that exact same feeling when I looked down at this medal. It is not rare, it is not elite breed of collectible, and with this heavy black spot tarnishing the front, nobody else would probably ever buy it. It would just sit there forgotten. So I got it for a price of a cup of coffee, or maybe two, just to bring it home. And you see it has this very bad black spot. So basically what happened is that this is not an ancient medal. It comes from 70s or maybe 80s of the last century, early 80s maybe. And it has this animal that is not like an old animal in French medals. It's not hard like glass. It's more like paint. And the seller put it in the sun in a very hot weather inside the glass box, the original box. So what happened is that animal heated and it started emitting some kind of chemical which turned the bronze around it black. And I'm just curious. I don't quite understand the chemistry of this thing, but I'm just curious if I would be able to clean it off. So maybe in one of the next episodes we will try to rescue this red flag medal. It is worth saying about the medal itself. During the Cold War in Soviet-controlled countries, like also German Democratic Republic was occupied by Soviet military. So military service was not reserved for the army or navy only. Literally everyone had to learn basic war skills. I remember when I was in primary school, we had those war training lessons, and I hated them. But in the USSR, they taught school children, students, factory workers how to shoot rifles and throw grenades. And this is exactly what this medal is for. It comes from the German Democratic Republic, the Eastern Germany, and it was given to the workers, the factory workers, who did the military training. Outstanding achievements in the military training. You can hardly call this medal a treasure, but as it turns out, my missus has a much better eye than me. While I was busy rescuing the forgotten relics, she actually managed to find something genuinely valuable. She found a beautiful 9-piece antique, well, not very old, but still antique porcelain coffee set for a price of 2 ice creams. I mean, we didn't have ice cream, so we saved on them and we got this beautiful 9-piece coffee set. On the bottom of every cup or saucer, you can see a green stamp with a crown that says Eschenbach, Bavaria, Germany. And this is a factory in Bavaria famous for making very high quality durable porcelain. Looking at the style, I would probably date it 1960s. It's a beautiful piece of German history, completely clean, no cracks. So, what is the final verdict for our flea market raid? Treasure or trash? I believe it is an absolute treasure. Not because of the profit margins, not because of the rarity, but because it made my missus happy. And in the end, that is the best kind of find you can ask for. This was Solo, hunting for the past. And let me know what you think of the finds in the comments. Also, please let me know if you ever had that black stains on the brass medals and how to clean them. And I will see you in the next episode.